What if Vader didn't die in Return of the Jedi? Let's explore the depths of it in the video.
Now, go, my son. Leave me.
No, you're coming with me. I'll not leave you here. I've got to save you.
You already have. You were right about me. And your sister. You were right.
As Vader slumps over, Luke hooks his arm around him and drags him aboard the shuttle. Once he has his father secure in the co-pilot's seat, Luke takes off and leaves the crumbling Death Star behind them. Only then does he trust himself to begin working on him. Luke recalls some of his lessons from Master Yoda about healing. Taking a deep breath, he puts Vader's helmet back on and begins to search for the injuries. He finds his body burned and scarred almost as much as his soul. Luke can only do so much for him, guiding his hands to the frayed nerves where Vader spasms in pain. He tries to soothe them as best he can. Thankfully, his work is aided by the Dark Lord himself. Rather than fighting this effort, he accepts it, letting Luke's hand work and ease the pain. For the first time, he believes he is deserving of this feeling. For the first time, it isn't the pain that guides him, but hope. This allows him to stay alive until they can return to Endor. When he arrives, they do not receive a hero's welcome. While they are grateful to see that Luke is safe, many in the rebel leadership question why he would think to spare Vader, one of the Empire's most wanted. Leia herself has ordered that he be killed on sight.
You don't understand. He's my father. I can't just let him die like this. He saved me from the Empire.
Well, good for him for only saving one guy.
It starts with one. But if he can change, how many more can he save?
Meanwhile, how many billions have been killed in the last 20 years? Let's ask this. How many has he killed in the last 4 years? Billions on Alderaan alone. Captain Antilles, Obi-Wan.
More than any of us bother to keep track of. So isn't it better to let him fix things?
It's better to put him down now. When a monkey gets rabid, you don't try to soothe it, and you put a blaster bolt between its eyes.
He's also the Emperor's right-hand man. He's got more information in his head about the Empire than our databanks. He could give it all up.
Now that gets their attention. Many of the rebel leaders exchange looks. Though this was an impressive victory, they knew better than to believe this is an end to the rebellion or the Empire. There are still countless generals and warlords who can amass considerable armies. They would need to wipe them all out one by one. With Vader's help, that could be much easier. It is an argument they can't ignore, and so the rebels consider it. With great reluctance, they agree to grant Vader amnesty on the promise that he help hunt down the Imperial remnants and establish the New Republic. Leia doesn't like it one bit and prepares to storm off. But as she leaves, Luke grabs her hand.
You know, he's more than just the Dark Lord. He's also our father.
Call him what you want, but he will never be my father.
It takes weeks for Vader to fully recover. Luke's force healing allows him to recover from his injuries, but it does not fully heal him. The scars from his old burns on Mustafar remain, leaving him to wear his old suit. Yet when he approaches the rebel leadership and explains his desire to help them, he is dismayed by the role he is given. Yet he will provide information about the Empire and how to defeat it, but he will also help them in combat to intimidate remnant groups into surrendering. In effect, he shall become the Rebel Alliance's enforcer. It is a role all too similar to his old position in the Empire. He is disappointed to have to serve in such a position, but the rebels will not hear any arguments. In their eyes, it is something that Vader is suited for, and while not stated outright, it is one of the only roles they think he is good for. Their first target is ambitious, wanting to capture Coruscant. With the Emperor dead, the Senate is in chaos, and many senators have secretly been smuggling soldiers and weapons for the rebellion. This could be out of genuine support, but others are simply officials who see which way the wind is blowing and try to curry up with the New Republic. Whatever the reason, it provides them with a rare opportunity to strike at the Empire's capital. A strike force is organized under the command of Leia, and Darth Vader is assigned with their army. When they arrive, Coruscant burns with fires as the skyline is choked with ash-gray clouds. Smoke coils from the outskirts, where the skirmishes still flare up as the last of the Imperial loyalists are driven underground, or crushed beneath the unexpected attack of the rebel soldiers. Leia had given advanced word to these rebels, telling them to prepare for her arrival and disable the defenders. Those smuggled in respond by attacking the Imperial weapon depots, capturing planetary defense installations, and striking at the garrison. But when they arrive, these efforts are no longer in place. Vader marches down the streets beside his children and their army, rebel veterans, volunteers, and defected stormtroopers alike. Leia marches beside him, chin high, clad in field armor, gilded with the crest of the rebellion. When they look around, they do not see the winds of change, but revolutionary fervor burning bright and engulfing all around them. The city is tense. People watch from windows and balconies. Some waved hastily drawn flags of the New Republic. Others simply hide. Inside the city, the corridors and hangars, discipline breaks. The soldiers smuggled in by sympathetic senators and traitorous bureaucrats emerge from hiding and seize their moment. They drag out old rivals, former overseers, cruel officers, hated moffs, and execute them in the streets. Some gloat, others scream. Some are ordered by senators to target rivals, regardless of affiliation. They simply do as they are told. Those who do not instead focus on enriching themselves. Dead Imperials find their houses being ransacked. Treasury vaults are broken into. Priceless art is stolen or defaced. A few of the most fanatic go as far as to say that Coruscant should be torn apart and go about taking whatever wealth they can find. A mob of insurgents sets fire to a hall of Imperial records, laughing as the flames rise. Bloodied banners are raised where old flags once stood. Vader stops mid-march and watches the chaos unfold. His breath hisses and turns toward a group of rebels dragging a former ISB agent from a hiding place. They beat him in the open, taking turns as if it were a sport. Vader raises his hand. The Force seizes one of the rebels and slams him against the wall. The rest back away, startled, suddenly reminded of who walks among them. Vader does not speak. His lightsaber flies into his hand. The crimson blade cuts through the laughter as he prepares to cut them down. Leia looks on, shocked but grim. There is no denying what they have done. There is no saving these men. He orders the officers. Men who loot and murder are brought before him. Soon, dozens of men are lined up in the courtyard. Many are sold out by their own comrades, others by civilians, and a few are picked out by Vader himself. When his officers ask how to punish the looters and killers, Vader considers it. Normally, the answer should be simple: death, and yet he hesitates. He glances towards Luke, who watches this all in horror and shakes his head in disgust, and yet he does not carry the same hatred as his father. He took a moment to compose himself.
Detain them. Parade them through the streets as traitors, and when this new republic is established, its priority should be to punish traitors like them.
The soldiers obey, but the damage is done. Whispers ripple through the troops. While a few like Luke nod in approval, others whisper of him being a glorified enforcer, the same blade that once served Palpatine, now wielded by a different hand. Even the Senate, now gathered in the old rotunda, watches with fear. They expected a diplomatic handover. Instead, they see executions nearly carried out in the open. They see Vader, Palpatine's enforcer, is coming in, and they quiver in fear. Leia addresses them, assuring them of fair treatment if they cooperate. She says that the New Republic is taking over from here, but to them it sounds closer to a threat, especially as Vader stands by her side. The senators murmur, glancing at each other. Some nod in submission, others tremble. Coruscant is taken, relatively peacefully, but also with fear gripping its heart. And though the banners of rebellion wave, many begin to ask, is this the freedom they were promised, or simply a new empire with different robes? And yet, after the capture of Coruscant and the New Republic establishes itself as a formal government, a question arises. Many former imperialists had defected and offered to surrender to their authority. Several of them had even helped capture the capital, including Vader himself. This raises the question of what shall be done to them. Many hardliners are eager to punish the Imperials and urge the Senate to punish them for their crimes. Yet, things are not so simple. Like it or not, the rebellion owes its victory on Endor and Coruscant in part to Imperial defectors. They cannot simply punish them all, not when one of the worst criminals in the Empire is now standing beside the rebel leadership. To address this problem, the New Republic amnesty program was enacted. The purpose of this is to vet former Imperials and determine which ones are deserving of amnesty. The first of these paramount Imperials is Vader, who accepts it graciously. Along with him, several senators and high-ranking officials are pardoned in thanks for their role in the capture of Coruscant. But this program also opens the door for further corruption. Vader tries to warn that the Imperials who they were pardoning were men who had only acted out of self-interest. They wanted to save their skins, nothing more. But these officials dismiss these actions immediately.
You accuse these Imperials of many crimes, and yet let us not ignore the fact that you have committed your share of wrongdoings, while gladly accepting a pardon for your crimes. I ask, is it truly right of you to condemn your fellow Imperials?
How many of those turned against the Emperor and slew him? How many of them rose up when they had nothing to gain from it? Ask yourself that before you wash away the scum of their crimes. Remember, they were once Republic senators. Then they called themselves Imperial. What will they call themselves tomorrow?
I suppose we shall see. Just as we shall see with you. In the meantime, I suggest you continue keeping your attention on the front, where the real Imperials continue to fight and refuse to surrender.
Vader stares at the Commission. Though they hear his words, their movements are tense. Few look at him with anything but disgust and fear. Even his daughter barely looks at him in the eye, though she is the only one to vote in support of him. In another time, he would have gladly strangled that arrogant officer and left him on the ground, but he knows that is not what his son would have wanted. So instead, he bows stiffly and marches out. As he departs, he spots Leia close to him and shakes his head.
You know I am right. These actions your government is taking will only sow the seeds of your downfall.
It's a bit much, I know, but we have a chance to resolve it and make things better. That means taking a few risks.
Allowing war profiteers and criminals into your government is not a risk. That is self-destruction.
I suppose you would know. They aren't wrong with what they say about you.
And yet they are different in their treatment of me. To them, I am just another monster. An attack dog to be pointed at their enemies. But they share toasts with these fools as if nothing has happened.
Then maybe it's time to start earning their trust. You can't do anything without that.
She walks off, leaving Vader to consider her words. A part of him knows it is not just the New Republic she is talking about. Rather than protesting, he instead makes his way over to Luke. Unlike his sister, the young Jedi does not pay too much attention to politics. He focuses on the Jedi and rebuilding the Order. As the last of their people, he throws himself into creating a new force of Jedi. Aside from working with the New Republic to look for Force sensitives, he largely keeps to himself, establishing the temple on Dantooine. Vader soon joins him, spending all his free time working with Luke. In contrast, the young Jedi offers Vader what the New Republic has, a firm voice, but a gentle touch. He listens to Vader's problems, senses them during his meditation, and tries to guide him. The Jedi sees the turmoil from his father, his desire to be a hero, and the distrust that others give him. In truth, he cannot entirely blame Vader. Vader's list of crimes is long, and he understands why many fear him. Yet he also sees his sincere desire to change.
And give them time, Father. Trust is not built in a day. It will take time, but I'm certain they will come around, including Leia.
It is not their distrust that bothers me. It is perhaps their wisest decision. It is their trust in others who are undeserving.
I've seen some of those men too. I wouldn't trust them. But what can you do? You've spoken your piece. Pushing them further will only cause tempers to flare.
So I am to do nothing.
Not nothing, but to observe and see whether they are as you say. It is a difficult thing to let go of control. But if you are to turn from the dark side entirely, it is something you must understand. Others will make mistakes, and you cannot always control it. It's scary, but it's the truth.
Then what happens when these mistakes are made, and they must face the consequences?
Catch them when they fall. Steady them, and make sure it doesn't happen again. I hate it too. A part of me knows they are making a mistake. Yet we are in an unprecedented time now, Father. The New Republic is finding its footing, and we cannot afford to show division, not when the Imperial remnant still exists.
Yet Vader's words soon prove prophetic. No sooner are the first few Imperials pardoned do they begin to take advantage of the system. They help in the search for more Imperials to pardon and hijack that system, looking to pardon friends, allies, and others undeserving of such mercy. This opens the floodgates for Imperial sympathizers to find their way into their ranks. While Vader tries to follow his son's advice, he finds himself getting calm, but also more aware of his surroundings, including these very Imperials. Even in this New Republic settlement, he spots them in the city, which bustles with life. Children play in the alleys of what was once a stormtrooper barracks. Merchants haggle under makeshift tarps near the Senate district. The banners of rebellion now hang over buildings that once bore the Emperor's sigil. All of it looks so peaceful that he is tempted to believe it, and yet he senses something is off. Vader walks the edges of the compound, silent as ever, his senses probing through the Force like a cold current. He does not speak, but he feels something is wrong. A rotting presence beneath the smiles, a heartbeat too calm, a mind too still. Near the old communication center, he sees her, Elia Kane. Her posture is perfect. Her uniform is that of a pardoned intelligence officer. He had never met her, but he had heard of her. She was one of the Empire's most fanatic believers. and it made her popular with the Imperial High Command. The fact that she was pardoned at all, let alone being placed in charge of a communication array, is madness to him. She is helping catalog recovered tech, by order of the Provisional Council. No one questions her, except Vader. His steps echo as he approaches.
Lord Vader, a pleasure to see you walk among the light.
You are not who you claim to be. What are you planning?
Elia's smile falters, barely, but it's enough. Vader grabs her by the lapels and lifts her off the ground. Her soldiers all gasp and reach for their sidearms. He sniffs, letting them do so, though none are foolish enough to fire upon him. One reaches for his communicator. Vader ignores him and continues to focus on Elia.
You have not answered me.
He looks into her eyes, sensing the darkness within. Not dissipated like what the New Republic believes, simply suppressed and redirected. They had eaten it all up.
I have been liberated, and soon we all will.
Not you. Answer me.
He holds his other hand out over her face and begins to probe her mind. He begins to search for information. Vader tries to force the information out, bits and pieces of that data. A refinery on an isolated planet, shipments of Juggernaut tanks, and ore is being unloaded. Rhydonium. Elia screams as she falls to the ground just as Leia arrives.
Vader, stop! She's cleared by the Senate.
You carry death. I feel it.
Elia steps back, but her hand subtly brushes her belt. It's small, smooth, unmarked.
Stop!
The only slave here is you, Lord Vader, thinking that they will ever accept you. For the Empire.
Vader's saber ignites in a hiss of red. As she prepares to hit the activator, she flies into the former Sith's waiting lightsaber. It punctures through her abdomen. Clean, precise. She gasps, eyes wide, before slumping forward into his arm. But then, click. The dead woman's hand spasms. The belt she wore, a disguised detonator, beeps once, then twice, rising in tempo. Thinking quickly, Vader wrenches the Rhydonium charge from her belt. The sleek explosive pulses with a volatile energy. He hurls it as far as he can in the sky with the Force. It continues to tick, and then explodes across the sky. A muffled explosion blossoms in the distance. The ground shakes. Windows shatter. A column of flame rises just outside the perimeter. Alarms wail. Civilians duck for cover. Soldiers rush to arms. Leia stares in stunned silence. Smoke dancing in the breeze. Vader says nothing. He simply looks at her. Leia's mouth opens, and she looks down at the woman's corpse, then at the belt, then out at the crater, where half the settlement should have been.
You saved them.
And next time, they might believe me the first time I speak.
He turns and walks into the smoke, leaving Leia standing in the growing silence, unsure if the man she just watched is a monster, or the only reason they're still alive. Unfortunately, this is far from the only attack. All across the New Republic space, the government reels from several dozen attacks. Critical facilities like armories, communication centers, shipyards, and government buildings are targeted alongside schools, hospitals, and shelters. The largest of these bombs leveled entire cities. It is an attack that leaves the galaxy stunned. The government hurried to try and make sense of everything that had happened. Their intelligence networks all come out with little to show for it. The former Imperials had been sure to scrub their tracks before detonating it, or targeting areas that would ensure data was irretrievable. All except Elia, who Vader had intercepted. Their attack was the only one foiled, and Leia had only her most trusted allies looking into the communication center. Meanwhile, she goes before the New Republic and urges them to take action. To their surprise, she suggests that she and Vader lead an expedition to punish the Imperial remnants. And yet, only now does the New Republic suggest looking into their Imperial citizens and investigating. They go as far as suggesting that Vader personally handle the hunting of these traitors. When the Dark Lord looks at them, he is not greeted with welcome or even contrition, only desperation. These were men eager to cover up their mistakes, not those who wished to make things right.
You do not trust me to hunt down the Imperials.
It's not like that, my lord. It's just that, given the circumstances, it might not look good if an ex-Imperial is spearheading such a critical operation, optics-wise.
Are you insane? All these weeks you've allowed Imperials to handle our most critical functions, and now you're concerned about saving face after they launched a fresh offensive?
All due respect, General. We can't just allow the most high-profile Imperial to walk around and command what's left of our fleet after this. The fleet is being reassigned to another officer. I'm sorry.
The two of them storm out of the briefing room, fuming at this. Leia herself is silently cursing the Republic leadership, while Vader ponders silently what this might mean.
So, what is it that you plan on doing now?
What do you think? We might not have a fleet, but I'm not just going to sit back while the Imperials are regaining strength.
Thankfully, they are not fully blind, as Leia's people managed to find several encrypted messages Elia sent out during her time working in this facility. They were sent to Navarro, which was said to have been occupied by an Imperial garrison, one under the command of Moff Gideon. He is listed as one of the most dangerous Imperial officers still unaccounted for. As they play the communications, they see the Moff appearing before them in one of the recordings.
I entrust you and your allies with this task, officer. I will target the soul after you weaken the body. And then, after you've broken the haft, I shall claim the spear point that slew our empire.
As the transmission ends, Vader falls silent and considers what that could mean. The soul of the New Republic. For a moment, he thinks it might be their capital, but that makes no sense. If they had the means to strike there, that should have been their first target. Now it would have been heavily protected and scrutinized. It would be difficult to carry out such an operation. No, they would need to hit a soft target, something that did not risk bringing down the entire Republic on them. It would have to be something significant enough to send another blow. Vader opens his eyes.
Dantooine. That is where they will strike next.
Are you sure?
It makes sense. The Jedi who slew Palpatine, the Imperials would want revenge, and Luke is not an official part of the New Republic. You've seen that they are less inclined to defend him. It would be a major blow to their new government if they allowed their hero to fall in such a way.
And then what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Go? With what? The New Republic has taken our fleet away. Are we to go in alone, without support?
Don't act so innocent. General Kenobi told me that was all you used to do when you were my age.
That much is true. I just needed to be sure. At least I know you are my daughter.
From orbit, its lush green fields and ancient Jedi ruins lie in peaceful slumber. Gideon's flagship, the Torment, cuts through the clouds, each carrying volatile canisters of rhydonium. Below, Jedi volunteers, settlers, and civilians prepare for evacuation. But time is running out. With a stolen shuttle, Vader, Leia, and a small strike team punch through the ship's defenses. Without a strong fleet, it's easy enough to track them down. It's X-Wings under the command of Yvonne Villain to take out the defenses and allow the shuttle to land.
They started targeting the temples. That's not military. Those are cultural sites.
He means to burn memory, not just lives. To rip the rebellion's soul from its body.
A voice crackles over the comm. Luke's X-Wing appears in formation beside them, taking out several of the turrets before joining them in the hangar.
I'm here. The ships below are already taking off. Let's finish this. Together.
Vader's silence is answer enough. The ship breaks through, diving toward the hangar bay of the Torment. Fire rains around them as they crash land inside the dark, echoing belly of the warship. No sooner do they emerge than purge troopers descend, their armor marked in crimson and black, wielding electropikes and vibroblades. Vader's saber hisses to life. Leia fires precise blaster shots, and Luke flows with calm fury. They fight in tandem, slicing through troopers, vaulting over fallen machinery. The purge troopers rush forward, trying to herd them in by locking their staffs together. Electricity courses around them, but Vader chuckles. Luke absorbs the energy while Vader unleashes a shockwave that throws them back. Those who don't fall over are quickly gunned down by Leia. More try to fire with blasters, but they can't slow down this force. Many rebels hang behind and pick them off. As they reach the upper corridor, 3 members of the Praetorian Guard emerge, their red armor gleaming, their weapons raised. The hallway becomes a storm of motion and steel. Vader crashes into them like a tide, saber crashing against their dueling blades. Leia hurls a detonator, scattering the group. Luke uses the Force to disarm one, then cuts him down. But it's brutal, and one Praetorian slices across Vader's side before he's run through the chest. Another pins Luke briefly before Leia puts a bolt through his helmet. The doors of the command deck hiss open. Inside stands Moff Gideon, in full black combat armor laced with cortosis. His cape flutters as he turns, face calm, voice measured.
The soul and the shadow. The children of Anakin Skywalker. And the man himself.
He activates the command console. The bombers have their launch trajectory, but now the rebels have disarmed them.
Sorry about that. Spare parts are always needed in the New Republic.
Oh,
I don't mind. In fact, there will be a lot of spare parts and rubble for your New Republic to pick through.
He furiously taps in more controls as his guards are all cut down, but it's too late. The trajectory changes as the ground shudders beneath their feet, directing the ship towards the temple. The Torment begins to accelerate downward.
You won't be able to get rid of the rhydonium here fast enough. Let the Jedi burn in their cradle. Let history die as I go down in legend.
Vader lunges, but Gideon reaches for his belt and pulls out the darksaber, blocking his strike. He stumbles back from the assault. Vader's eyes widen.
They give those to anyone these days.
Their sabers clash, red on black. Gideon is no Jedi, but his armor and technique are formidable. Enough that Vader has to give him his full attention while Luke and Leia try to disable the ship's controls. Sparks fly as Vader forces him back. Each blow sends shockwaves across the room. Yet soon Vader manages to kick him and send him stumbling. He whirls his cloak in front of him, then plunges his weapon through, driving his saber through Gideon's chest.
You will not touch this world.
The Moff gasps, then falls. The console flickers. The ship continues to dive.
The controls are locked in. We don't have time.
Can we shut it down? Vader looks at the controls. No overrides remain. No escape.
Get to the escape shuttle. Now.
No, we...
Now! I can divert the ship. I must pilot it away manually. We were tasked with keeping this temple safe. If your Jedi and soldiers die, there was no point.
Let me! Vader places a hand on his children's shoulders.
You are the soul, my son. And you, Leia, are this new Republic's heart. You see its flaws. You can fix it. You must live.
For a moment, they hesitate. Then Leia grabs Luke's arm, pulling him back.
We'll wait for you. Don't you dare lie to me, Father.
As they flee, Vader takes the command chair. He closes his eyes and begins channeling the Force. Not towards the control, but across the entire ship itself. As his fingers grip the armrests, he feels himself connecting with the ship, using the Force to guide his presence onto every circuit and panel, every bulkhead and rivet. Soon, the hum of the reactor matches his heartbeat, and he directs it away from the temple. The ship slowly begins to bank away as it enters the atmosphere. Vader feels the searing heat. It is just like Mustafar, yet there is no pain here. The fire here seems almost cleansing. So Vader relaxes and takes a deep breath, chuckling to himself. One thought nags at the back of his mind. His daughter's last words. All things considered, a liar was one of the better things she had called him. To those evacuating the temple, the torment appears like a falling star before disappearing into a blinding explosion that could be felt hundreds of miles away. When the rebels search the wreckage, an entire mountain has been turned into a crater, and amidst the ruins, they find no survivors, only Vader's helmet and the darksaber. With this threat ended, the remaining Imperials are slowly rooted out, but the effects change Leia. She issues a set of reforms, intending to be much stricter, and begins removing incompetent New Republic officials or ex-Imperials whom Vader had warned her about. She then takes a more active role in shaping the New Republic, not simply accepting what they can and can't do. As more Jedi are trained, Luke begins to join her and helps ensure that they do more than simply maintain the veneer of democracy, but actively ensure it is enforced. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.